Welcome to Fouts Boxing Theory. Number one striking coach on the planet, blah, 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 blah. You've heard all that stuff before, but it's true. Okay. I also get called, I know your whole thing is nitpicky or whatever, but it's not about nitpicky. It's about being the best. And if you want to learn how to be the best, check out the Fouts Boxing Academy. It's going to teach you all the drills that you need to do so that you don't make the mistakes that even these high level guys make. Okay. Now, if you're wondering, just in case, right? How is it that Jaron Ennis can wind up becoming world champion and blah, 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 and still have so many flaws? Well, number one, we want to take a look at the idea that he's one of the taller guys in the division, right? He's also fast. He's also hits pretty hard, right? All these things give him advantage against other people who just make slightly more mistakes than him. And mistakes are very common because, number one, people don't understand how punching power works. Check out the Fouts Boxing Combat System. I'll teach you exactly how punching power works, exactly how to develop it, exactly how to throw your best punch and then make it better. Okay, guaranteed. Check out the reviews. Okay, guys, blah, 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 blah. I don't want to sell you too much stuff, but until people strike correctly, their boxing is going to suck. Okay? Not only does the Fouts Boxing Combat System teach you exactly how to do all that stuff, but it teaches you how to set up your power punching as well in the correct structures, in the correct blah, 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 blah. But all that stuff has a massive impact on these guys' ability to do everything correctly. That's why you see guys who they can't change trainers because they learn how to do everything one way. They learn how to do it the one way. They don't know how to do it the right way. They just get it to work that one way, and now they can't do it from other structures. They can't do it, or they can't chain things off of it. So anyway, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the things that Jaron Ennis is doing well, the things that he's not doing well. Okay. Number one, I love that he's got his rear hand right here. He's ready to interact with the punch. I kind of freeze right there. Don't worry about that. But he's ready to interact with a punch in case a jab comes or a stepping jab. It's very important that your opponent is not able to isolate you from your front foot because blah, 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 blah. You don't want to get hit with any dumb shit. Okay. Number two, what I don't like, look at his left hand here. Very low, right? It's very low right there. And because it's low, it means he's going to get hit with more overhands or be easily controlled by more rear hand punches than his opponent would, might normally get value from. Getting pushed off his line. And when they both kind of go up right there, Ennis able to kind of follow up a little bit on that, right? From that position where he gets to the front foot and he gets feinted here. And then Chukhadzhian's just going to leave. But Ennis, very experienced after getting feinted here, able to jump back on the line really quickly and control him, kind of find a punch, right? Even though his structure is all, fractured and he's not in a great position, he's sacrificing all of that because of the likelihood that his opponent just came to the line with a feint, that he's very likely not ready to commit to another shot or do something else after. I'm trying to steal those points from him, okay? Very sneaky, right? Now he gets feinted again. And he looks to control the jab, and immediately after controlling the jab, what does he do? Even though the jab didn't come, he had control of it, boom, boom, and he's able to throw that shot, isolating and controlling some space. Now, not blocking with the left hand, but crossing or throwing a cross with it or a jab, right? Getting some circling, okay? Stepping with his circling jab there. And, pendulum stepping off the line. One thing I don't like already, right, is that he's not moving through these positions very, how do you say it? The term that I like to use is called weaving through the line. Okay, and he's not really weaving through the line. He's kind of running from the line right there. He's not taking places to break. Decent interaction with the rear hand. Chukhadzhian's back foot comes up off the ground, so he's forced to shift forward. He doesn't have the greatest structure for throwing a punch, which is evident in the fact that he doesn't have very many knockouts, right? He's not a very hard puncher. His structure's not very good, so there's going to be a lot of stuff he can't even do after throwing a rear hand like that. Makes it to the front foot here, throws his hand out here, and very similarly, right after the little interaction comes after he gets to the line, Ennis is like, okay, I'm just going to follow him back and try to steal a point, right? Chukhadzhian already brought his weight to the line. He already made it there. Excellent little stepping jab right there on that timing on Chukhadzhian. Now, again, just like what I talked about earlier, what I liked about Ennis bringing his rear hand so close to the line, if Chukhadzhian is not bringing his hand to a position that's very similar, we can see his glove is kind of here on his chest here like this, and that's not in a position to really block a punch that would obviously go to his face, not his throat, right? Kind of common sense right there. But as he gets to the line again, still not able to bring his hand to the line, not attempting to catch jabs. So Chukhadzhian is going to have to start from farther away, getting hit by these jabs here from Ennis. And Ennis is able to looking like he's one of those guys that can kind of break out of his line from anywhere. And that's this little Fouts boxing term, breaking out of your line. You have your active guard, you'll be moving, and then you have a normal pace, part of your active guard, and then once you get to that position that you're looking to attack from here, right, or wherever it is, you're going to break and you're going to try to race your opponent into a shot. And we can see him trying to race into that with his stepping jab here, and then giving him the same thing, and then shooting a jab to the body, not getting countered, so it did at least that amount of job, but not really scoring. The shot kind of gets parried. But Ennis being able to break out of his active guard and throw a stepping jab from anywhere in his line, very high level skill, shows a lot of athleticism. And again, even though we're going to see him in this fight kind of get smacked around and smacked up a bunch of times by Chukhadzhian, what the things that Ennis does, he can take advantage of so many people, especially people who have like poor guards, right? Especially people who are smaller than him and already going to be struggling to deal with his athleticism. Now, very, very high level skill here from Ennis, getting to the front foot here. And here he is. He's on the left side of the line here. We can very, very clearly see his opponent's head is here. That's the target. His head is on this side of the line, right? And he's going to be able to throw, oh my goodness, I'm like showing you over here. But here's his line here, his head. Ennis's head is on this side, right? Boom. And he's got kind of a front foot structure here, okay? Now he's going to throw this shot here, and he's going to throw this rear hand. And again, it's a very, very easy shot, a very light probe, right? Something just so he can control space with, okay? Now, this is one of those things that I've been critical of Jaron Ennis for. He makes a kind of a mistake here. He throws this shot. Is he going to be crossing back? Usually he's going to throw that shot across the line, and he comes back here. So doing a good job of not coming back across the line and changing positions, but keeping his rear shoulder mostly forward, okay, and like almost completely evading this shot here. Let's just take a look again. Makes it to the front foot here. Boom. And again, if he were to move back to his normal position, like most coaches are going to teach you, you go from this position, you go right back to this position here, but you would see that his head would cross the line here. So his ability to take a step off the line here and not cross the line and stay close to a front foot position allows him to stay safe from this kind of leaping hook. Now, this is going to be something that's really funny. I don't know if you guys are going to be watching Barboza versus Ramirez. I'm going to be doing a film study on this on Patreon as well. Feel free to check it out. Also, whatever portion of this film study is not available on YouTube will be available on my Discord, which is the Fouts Boxing Academy. Check it out. Again, it's got over 100 drills to teach you all the ways not to make the mistakes that these guys are going to make. Again, it's not about being nitpicky. It's about being the goddamn fucking best. Not making poor mistakes and giving away free punches, because as we know, as fighters, I don't want to say any punch can hurt you because that's horse shit. But someone is going to be good at if you're fighting forever, if you fight a lot of guys, eventually someone's going to have a hard jab or a hard right hand or a hard left hook or a hard overhand or a hard uppercut and if you don't have a great way to protect yourself from all the positions and all these punches, they're going to be able to maximize that value if it's a punch they've practiced very well. Okay? And if it's inevitable that you fight someone who's good at every one of those. So, throwing the shot, blah, 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 getting off the line. Excellent not being forced right into the little hook of Chukhadzhian. But what I was going to say about the left hook, Arnold Barboza has a really good one, and Jose Ramirez is a very bladed stance fighter. So if he makes it into this position, if he's not throwing the left hook to the body, I suspect a lot of times he'll jump straight back or he'll cross the line himself and make massive mistakes. Okay, so I'm not sure about who's going to win yet. But we will be doing that film study, which will also be available on YouTube, or not on YouTube, maybe, who knows, but on Patreon, the full fight film studies, unedited, yeah. But those Patreon doesn't have any drills, and the Discord is for people who want coaching, who want to be part of the coaching academy. There's a lot of other stuff that goes on there. Yada yada yada. Anyway, get back to the film study. Let's see. So again, another problem, right? Now he is controlling space and looking to anticipate catching with that jab or that rear hand, slipping here. But it's not actually in that position here. He's still keeping it in a position here, right, where it's away from his face. It's not close, compact. It's not a tight guard here, right? And it allows Ennis to really intercept him and cut off his line here. Again, breaking into that stepping jab almost any time that he wants to. Again, while Chukhadzhian is not weaving through the line either, he's just penduluming around, looking to get on the line and being forced at this speed. He can't even get planted to land a shot to interact with Ennis quick enough for him to do anything. Now, again, I don't really like that Ennis's lead hand isn't very high, right? Doing a good job here interacting with this shot, but take a look at his head here. This is one of those very classic shots where if a guy's good at a 1-2, they're going to get you, right? Now, again, Ennis is a guy that's fought littler people than him, right? So a little bit of head movement goes a long way when you're just bigger than a guy, right? So we're going to see, I think in this fight at least, Ennis gets smacked around. I was actually at this fight live. But it was such a long day. It was so hard to watch the live stuff. It took a lot of focus because we didn't actually wind up getting great seats. Which we should have. We should have splurged on him. It would have been such a treat with Bam and Ennis fighting as well. But Ennis doing a good job here with his head movement, weaving through the line a little bit right there, crossing the line and moving into the stepping jab. And again, Chukhadzhian not really able to time that perfectly to get that shot over the top, but you guys can kind of see the danger there for Ennis because he keeps that left shoulder kind of low. I don't want to say Philly shell, the dude's from Philly, I guess. But you really want to be careful because again, it's more about mitigating as much risk as you can rather than just, you're doing it wrong. And now as we can see here, he's not really keeping his hands up and Chukhadzhian has not very many knockouts, right? Boom, boom. And he moves his head down here. And now, if he's not going to duck below the waist, he's not going to go this way. His head has nowhere else to go from this position, right? From with where his weight is. If he's not cheating, if he's not this, and he's not blocking, right, and bringing his arm to the line and making sure that he can interact with that rear hand correctly, he's going to get hit. This is the cost of business, right? Now, somebody like Floyd Mayweather would literally duck and put his head literally below the waist, but between his legs. If you take a look at it, his head is between his legs, like he could look behind himself. Okay. Now, again, that's illegal, right? And again, that's why Ennis here is kind of, paying the cost of business, right? He's getting hit right there. I believe it's hitting him. We're not going to, it's getting him clear. Now, again, Chukhadzhian doesn't have a very good structure, is not very hard punching, doesn't know how to hit hard. But quick enough, obviously at this level, you got to be so quick. You can only be so slow at this level and still compete. People are so quick and snappy. But Ennis fighting somebody who's as big as him, right? And not getting paid off for these little tricks that have these little holes. Now, check it out. Right after he gets hit, he's going to enter the line here, and now look at him. He's in a southpaw stance now. I don't know if he's a southpaw. I don't know if this or that, but he's going to fight most of this fight because if he's not able to block with his left arm and block that right hand consistently, he just saw right there that he's not going to be able to get away from it either. And if you just keep getting hit in the face, eventually you're going to get tired and get worn down. He's going to make a fool of me. He went back orthodox. Okay. I do believe he fights a majority of the fight southpaw, though. Circling, again, doesn't have his left guard up here. Ready to interact with the jab and get under the hook here and then get off the line. So doing a good job of controlling, not really feinting, not really probing, not really, he's controlling the line defensively, right? Got his block up this time, looking to interact. Boom. Excellent disruption right there. I don't want to say he got lucky, right? But it did take Chukhadzhian a while for him to kind of get control or feel comfortable when he had the guy in the corner, right? It was a huge opportunity. And Ennis did a good job of intercepting him when the actual attack came. But he was getting controlled quite a bit on the inside. Chukhadzhian probably just, I want to say like more of a boxer kind of guy than now here he is southpaw, then a brawler, then somebody like Canelo who's going to jump on the line and go and really smash a guy. But he's not really Chukhadzhian. He's not that guy. He's got like -7 KOs or something. So he's not really a power puncher. But we are going to see him kind of beat Ennis up a little bit. Take advantage of some stuff. Now, beautiful work right there. Ennis is. Now he's southpaw. The line is so much more obvious where it is when they get control or when they get close to each other. So they make this contact point. Ennis is already peeling off just in case a follow-up shot comes, right? And as they get to that position, boom. Very, very interesting because this is a bad move, okay? I want you guys to pay attention. Mark this spot. Mark this spot when you guys are thinking about how good is Jaron Ennis, how good is, because here he is, penduluming on his line with the jab. He goes up with the jab, boom, and as he's on his way down, he's getting smacked by a hook on an arm that just got control, boom, boom, and smashing, right? Doing an excellent job. This is a big deal. This is a big deal skill. Again, this is why it's so hard to fight Ennis. He's so fast. He's so sharp. Like even if he's making all these mistakes, if you make any dumb mistakes and they make you, like I said just a few minutes ago, if you're slow, right? If you're slow even a little bit, okay, he's going to get you. You just can't be slow at this level, right? There's a championship speed, right? Whatever that means, okay? I don't want to say where all the skills in the world won't help you, but like all the skills in the world aren't going to make you win the fight. They'll just help you not lose so bad, right? But you still got to be pretty snappy and whatever, But timing him on the way down of his pendulum step like that after getting controlled, very high level stuff. Think back to Errol Spence versus Crawford, right? His pendulum step, right? This is just one of those things. If Spence fought Ennis, Spence would get annihilated, absolutely demolished, right? Just watching that one clip right there, easy work. Easy work. Anyway, back to the film study. Now, getting on the line with that jab. Now, again, Ennis not really usually fighting a guy who's as big as him. So, again, even in his southpaw, he's still Philly shell. He got the lead shoulder, the lead hand down, right? And you can argue that's to control the body shot or whatever, but I'll argue that you're much more likely to get punched in the face than in the body on average anyway. So protecting your head, especially from guys who are fast at a championship speed. Now, real quick, check this out. Stepping in with the jab, stepping off, controlling, and stepping onto the jab. And look at Chukhadzhian trying to slip and throw that rear hand right there. Really high level stuff. Makes it very difficult here, I think, for Ennis to find some good shots. But also that shot's going to start alienating him from his own offense, right? If he has to worry about getting punched in the face. However, I do want to point out, Chukhadzhian, when he throws that shot again, falling off balance, his back foot dragging. He's not really snappy. Again, if you guys want to learn how to practice this stuff, Fouts Boxing Academy, check out the reviews. If you guys don't believe it, okay, check it out. It's going to teach you all the best patterns, all the best ways to learn how to fight, and also like semi-weekly Fouts Boxing Academy videos from the members who are posting stuff in the Discord, and learn how to fight from them and with them, and hopefully you send in your own stuff too. But shifting forward, and now because he's not as good of an athlete, because of this, because of that, all this stuff, he has great on first contact, excellent work from the beginning of the fight, right? But because he falls off balance, and Ennis is a better athlete, he has better structure, he has better this. Even though Chukhadzhian looked good on first contact, he looks good moving around, he reacts well. Because his structure sucks, his striking's really bad on average. And again, striking is really the root of all of combat. The better of a striker you are, the better you're going to be able to fight, the quicker you're going to be able to do everything, okay? The first coach in history, again, to be able to figure out all of striking, teach you guys how to throw your best punch, and then also improve your best punch, and teach you to be among one of the fastest and hardest strikers on the planet, okay? Again, check out the system, check out the reviews. Again, it's not bullshit, straight up, okay? I figured it out. It's easy work. Okay, but Ennis has a better structure than him. He's stronger than him. He's been boxing presumably longer, has better drills for sure. But he's able to follow up and chain things off of those, even those failed movements that were getting timed, and steal punches from Chukhadzhian, right? Steal free offense from him because he just not as good. He falls off balance. He doesn't have as good a control over his body as Ennis does. Now leaping into that shot, right? I don't know why he didn't find a punch there. He may have found one, but we'll see later. But doing a good job of getting control of Ennis right there. Probably not going to be, forever valuable. Ennis will probably start timing that because, again, it was pretty slow too. 1-1-2. And again, stepping on the line. And again, timed right here, okay, as he's trying to get on the line. Pretty quick, pretty sneaky from Chukhadzhian here. Again, not very good follow-ups. He did that thing where he crosses back over the line, doesn't really leave the line first. Again, doesn't have his hands really in position to interact with his opponent's punches. Boom. And look at Ennis kind of penduluming off that. Boom. Eats a shot here. He's going to make it to the front foot. Bop, jab, under, and then uppercut. Pretty good. Pretty good. Putting two punches together like there and shifting into putting more pressure, controlling space with the lead hand here. Boom, a little stepping jab and flicking it out there. Boom, okay. So now he takes lead foot dominance, throws his rear hand up, gets coiled, gets down, gets planted, and then moves off the line. And look at Chukhadzhian. He's waiting here just in case a body shot came. He's ready to interact with the body shot. So he sees this coming. Now what's going to happen next, guys? What do you think is going to happen next? What's going to happen right after this? Do you know? Let's see, okay? I think he's going to jump on the line. He telegraphed everything that he's going to do here. Jumps on the line with the stepping shot, takes lead foot dominance. Chukhadzhian is stepping on the inside, smacks him with the hook. I knew it. Okay, he made everything so obvious. He didn't even get Chukhadzhian out of position or worried about what was coming. Chukhadzhian was getting used to interacting with that stepping jab and that feint and the lead foot dominance here, and he smacks him, almost takes him down. Okay, now take a look at Chukhadzhian, again, completely falling off balance, right, after throwing a shot. Right, he's taking a step with it. His foot winds up underneath Ennis's foot because he's stepping with his little hook here. He doesn't really know how to throw it planted, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, it stops him from being able to take advantage of a huge moment in the fight for him. Now, again, jumping on the line, not having good feints himself, not getting Ennis out of position here. Ennis jabbing, pulling again. And notice last time when he wasn't hurt, he caught him with that, and he hit him with the uppercut right after. No uppercut here. He's probably is actually hurt. Wraps his arm around his waist. Illegal. It's illegal. Holding and hitting right now. Okay? But he's holding and hitting right now. You're not allowed to grab your opponent by the waist. I know Andre Ward made a whole ass career of it, but it's fake. It's fake. And if you actually fight a guy who's not afraid to be grabbed and held by the waist and who's a real puncher, he's going to knock you out anyway. So don't learn bad habits. Fouts Boxing Academy. Oh, real quick. Look at Ennis getting to the front foot, controlling that lead hand, right? Boom. We're going to Wi-Fi here. Jab, penduluming here. Boom. And making it to this position. Making it toward the other side of the line off of the jab. And pushing Chukhadzhian off the line. Doing a good job of pressuring his position and pushing him off the line. Little follow-up right there. Very interesting. You're not allowed to hold and hit, Ennis. Don't do that. I know you want to win in your hometown and all that stuff, but you're better than that. Boom. Timing him with the jab. Now, again, not very savvy with his blocks. Okay, we saw it when he was orthodox. We saw it when he was southpaw here, but not really keeping his arms and not really knowing how to position everything when these shots come. So when he kind of throws a shot, look at this big, huge gap here. Now, again, Chukhadzhian doesn't know how to throw a punch. Thank goodness. Okay. I don't like calling him Chukhadzhian every time. We can call him Chuka, right? I don't want to call him Karen either, right? Oh man, so beautiful, beautiful shot right there from Chukhadzhian. So timing Ennis as Ennis gets on the front foot, right? Front foot gets controlled, right? And then boom, off the control, he doesn't expect a follow-up. Now as he gets on the line, back foot. And now Ennis is going to take a step on the front foot, and he's getting timed with this shot. Again, he didn't actually transfer his weight. He didn't have a good block, blah, 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 blah. Excellent follow-ups from Ennis. Again, he's just in a better position, even after getting hit, to follow up and steal some punches on those failing beats from Chukhadzhian. Now they both get off the line, and Ennis again getting on the line, and Chukhadzhian anticipating the lead hand control being a lead hand here, right? And instead of touching it, going right around it with a little hook here. Beautiful, beautiful shot here. And just one of those things that's going to happen, especially when you're playing the lead hand control game so much. It just happens. And you just got to do your best not to get hit clean. You guys hear the birds outside? The Philly birds? The Philly wildlife outside? Boom. So Chukhadzhian opening up on the line here with a rear hand, with his lead hand open, not guarding his head at all. So almost walking into a good shot from Ennis. Ennis holding a little bit, yada, yada, yada. Very rough here. So again, he's much faster. Gets on the line with a good structure here. Back foot. Gets on the line front foot. He's controlling the lead hand just in case it came from his parry. Throws the rear hand. Does get a little bit of control. Keeps him here. Doesn't allow his opponent to get planted with a little bit of the wrestling. Oh, he loses that one. Steals that punch here. Opens him up here, has good head control. Chukhadzhian's trying to wrestle him. He opens him up here, gets him off balance. Boom, boom, steals some shots. After throwing this shot, he doesn't get off the line. He doesn't rebody up. He doesn't have any good defensive responsibility. Just kind of gets smacked here. Now, I do want to say, if he's going to be throwing these shots and not landing clean and not knocking people out, we have to say, oh, he's probably not going to be knocking Crawford out with that shot, but would Crawford be knocking him out with that shot? Okay? Or, that move when Chukhadzhian caught him with the left hook. Ryan Garcia, right? Is Ryan Garcia going to be as forgiving? Right? Boom. 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 Whack. I mean, we saw how good Ryan Garcia's left hook was. Now, I really don't think in my heart of hearts, it's kind of like, maybe it's more like, we're all thinking about Tyson versus Paul this weekend, right? And we're like, no way. There's no way we live in a universe where Donald Trump could win the election. I mean, Mike Tyson could lose to Jake Paul, right? There's no way, right? And now we're like also thinking like, there's no way we live in a universe where Jaron Ennis could lose to Ryan Garcia, right? But maybe, okay. Again, the left hooks like this, Ennis is not good at blocking, right? Now, I do think that, we'd have to do a whole other film study on it. Ugh, again, not looking good here. I do think on average that, good shots. Again, he is just better on the inside. He is just better on the line, Ennis is. Even if he winds up getting hit by a shot, he just recovers very quickly. Boom, he has a better structure. He knows more about, he's a better striker on average than anybody he's going to be fighting, except for, Crawford and Ortiz. Now it's interesting too because we have this offer from Ennis to fight Virgil Ortiz at 54. Ennis is saying that he thinks it's time to move up. I think it's kind of silly. I don't know if he's just trying to cash out and make a bunch of money, but the welterweight division sucks without Virgil Ortiz and Crawford. And Crawford moved up. I don't want to say that so that he wouldn't have to fight Boots, but maybe so that he wouldn't have to fight Boots and Ortiz. He unified the division. He didn't defend the unification. That sounds so stupid. Also, if you have all the belts, you got to pay this much percent to this guy and this percent and this percent. If he vacates and moves up, he just makes more money, right? Because now he's still got his name. He's Crawford, but he doesn't have 3 belts, right? Think about how Tank Davis's career has turned out, right? Very, very, very strategically taking the IBF so that he doesn't have to fight weight bullies and people who can't make weight, and he can justify, because that's exactly what he wanted to do against Ryan Garcia, right? Keep him weight trained, keep him from whatever, from fully hydrating and ballooning up, which the dude's 5'5", dude, maybe 5'4", right? He's a lion. Maybe he's wearing Floyd Mayweather's platform shoes, right? Ryan Garcia is a solid 5'10", right? Again, fighting and taking black belt tests. People are like, who? Oh, that idiot, that moron, Tim Bradley. By the way, who's been using my film study theory since his broadcasting days started. This guy won an award for film study and broadcasting. What a joke. Doesn't know anything about fighting. Nothing that he didn't learn from my channel. Now, saying that Tank Davis is what? Tank Davis is an amateur or some shit. Something like that. The prospect at 30. He's been catering his boxing legacy in a way that he doesn't have to pay sanctioning fees to two other organizations to be a champion. Still one champion, right? He's still the champion all this time. We know, like, kind of, how crazy does Jermell and Jermall Charlo both have more of a legitimate legacy because they held all the titles for so long than Tank Davis, who held one title forever? Kinda. I know he wasn't like champion all the time, losing it on the scales and this and that, but, just strategically mostly interesting. So again, getting to the line, jab, pushing him off, bop, and Chukhadzhian trying to time him here with this shot. And Ennis very, very fast and snappy, very, very, very sharp with these stepping jabs here. Getting to the front foot here, and again, is this a good guard here? Back foot, front foot, back foot. Taking that big step right there, and Chukhadzhian feinting into it. Very, very bad guard right there. He's lucky that nothing actually came from him. Very interesting. He still had like a little pull right there and tried to come on back onto the line, but now Chukhadzhian failing in the same way, where he doesn't have a good guard with his lead hand, right, and getting feinted and controlled here. Boom, boom. Same thing, moving to the back foot and just getting smacked right on the chin from failing defense. Boom. Again, no guard, but he's so fast, he's so snappy, he can explode and control Chukhadzhian so quickly with the lead hand. Not bad right there. Wasn't really expecting a follow-up from him, but feinting him here, making him throw his shot, pulling, coming back up, and going boom, and then really kind of getting smacked. Again, Ennis not really doing very much with his lead hand in this. Still a good pull counter from him, but the fact that Ennis is never really guarding the line with his hand, even if Ennis didn't do anything from this position, right? Even if he didn't do anything, boom, he might just be expecting that the rear hand was going to miss here, and then he would maybe able to be landing the second one because Ennis doesn't have a guard, right? And like that means that Ennis, because he doesn't have a guard, is putting him in a worse position himself to follow up and counter single shots because he's already exposing the fact that he's open for his opponent to put a combination together, right? Simply because he doesn't have a guard. So he moves his head one time and then moves his head into a position to get hit. So anyway, it's just kind of double backing on that same principle, right? That was just a super effective shot for Karen here to throw. Because it just lines up with the other inadequacies of Ennis's guard, right? And again, this is stuff that, on average, Ennis doesn't have to worry about that much because who's as big and snappy and good at cutting weight as Ennis, right? Obviously not Virgil Ortiz, right? Now, again, I think that Virgil Ortiz, I don't know if Ennis can hurt Virgil Ortiz, but I think that Virgil Ortiz can definitely hurt Ennis because he's so big, man. Virgil Ortiz is really big. He's really fast. And even if he couldn't, he's so sharp on the line, and they're about the same size, So I think it was a great thing that obviously the giant Virgil Ortiz had to move up eventually, right? He was racing to a title, hoping to get to be a champion in the welterweight and then the junior welterweight and then the middleweight and then the, wherever he stops at, whatever tall he is, 5'11", and giant. And then again, Crawford moving up to 54, right? Left the welterweight division completely open. Very soft division for Ennis. stepping on the line with the rear hand. I couldn't really see. It does look like he's landing that shot pretty clean. And then Ennis also landing a shot as well. Chukhadzhian, for some reason, now again, if you're not very good at this stuff and you're really trying to hurt the guy, you're going to have to bow and arrow. You're going to have to expose yourself, right? It's just very, very difficult to be that fast, especially because Ennis is so fast and snappy himself. So just anything that Chukhadzhian can do to just get a little bit of extra speed to make contact before Ennis can get out of there. Little did he know that Ennis was throwing a punch at the same time. Right, so he's already moving his head a little bit out of that zone of the rear hand of Chukhadzhian, even though he's still kind of catching him. And then also coming with a punch, catching Chukhadzhian pretty cleanly. Now, Chukhadzhian holding right here, it's illegal. Flat out, it's illegal. Okay, that was a whole, a couple of moments right there where he was vulnerable, and he just gets to hold out of it. Maybe that right there is the difference between Ennis going 12 rounds with this guy, right, and getting a second round stoppage. Okay. Now again, coming forward, following that control pull counter, very interesting. Jab, jab. I think he's kind of stepping here. He does get a pull off a little bit, but again, I really don't like how low all of his hands are all the time. And again, this move here, if Chukhadzhian were coming with the 2-3 again, he is kind of coming with the 1, like 1 over the top or whatever. Ennis looks like he's very vulnerable to that. Who else do we know is that's their favorite punch, right? Crawford, right? Crawford's very good with the 2-1. Now, I don't actually think Crawford would fight Ennis orthodox, so I don't think it would be a 2-1 there. Maybe a 2-1 southpaw. Ooh, catching him with the hook again. Stepping jab. Back foot. The front foot's coming forward. And Chukhadzhian kind of timing him, kind of penduluming forward again. Watch Ennis's feet. He's going to bring his back foot forward right now. Very normal. And then he's going to be trying to take up so much space against Chukhadzhian. It's kind of obvious from this position he's going to throw a stepping jab, right? And Ennis, getting timed right there with that stepping hook from Karen. But again, not really able to hurt him. Getting him with a killer shot, but also he's getting caught with another shot himself. And Ennis just like, I think I got him, right? Boom, boom, jumping on his line. And again, Ennis getting caught with a left hook there, right? And then getting caught again with a left hook here. Okay. Now again, I don't want to say our boy Ryan Garcia, he don't play, right? Because he does. He's a joker, like straight up. But I want to say like a joker, more like a wild card, right? Because his defense is hands down some of the worst ever, right? It's absolutely atrocious defense. But his offense is absolutely insane sometimes, right? And it's jumping on the line with the 2 here, not landing super cleanly here. Couldn't really tell exactly what he's doing for his defense, but boom, boom, he throws the shot. Doesn't look like he's crossing the line. It does look like he's kind of blocking this shot. So again, not moving back to his traditional stance, right? And being a little bit positional right here and leaving the line in position 1 on the front foot here, saving him a good counter here. Even though the block was not great, it's enough to not get countered, right? Pretty good. Pretty good. Trying to put a lot of pressure on him. Ooh. Now, he did that thing where he kind of pendulums off of his jab. He's trying to keep the pressure, assuming that Chukhadzhian is leaving. But Chukhadzhian looks like he's jumping and penduluming down into a rear hand and just timing Ennis right over the top. And again, Ennis doesn't bring his guard with him, right? He doesn't have his guard with him at all. He's kind of coming forward and his hands are like at his chin level, at his chest, kind of. Right, here you go. You can see. Comes up a little bit right there. But then again, look at his left hand come down here as he brings his weight to the right side of his line. And again, always stepping, always attacking with that left shoulder, not blocking or controlling space, feinting as much. But even interestingly, like his feints, the same thing, right? His hands are down. All right, so we got the orthodox Ennis now. Again, check out that little motion where he throws his hand out there like that, right? Trying to get these little reactions here from Karen, crossing the line here, right? Trying to show him a little bit of a look. But these are just failed positions for feinting, right? Trying to get him out of position so he can steal that jab to the body. But again, if he's moving his hands all down like this and doing all this stuff because he doesn't know how to bring his hands with him in his guard and move around and weave through the line correctly with a guard, Fouts Boxing Academy, check it out. It's going to wind up putting himself in positions like this. You see how he's in this position? Chukhadzhian's on the front foot here, and then he's like, oh, and he leaves the line like that, and then he steals that punch. Chukhadzhian's going to meet him back in that position where his hands are in that same low position, and then this time, instead of staying there, he just immediately throws a leaping hook, right? A very, very, on average, a pretty powerful shot. It's unfortunate for him that he doesn't chain anything off of it. He has to sacrifice everything that he's doing to throw that shot and land it. Good for him, whatever. He lands a good shot. Leading with an uppercut like a madman. Again, who wants to get Chuck Liddell'd, right? Who wants to beat Chuck Liddell versus Rashad Evans, right? Ennis with no guard. Chukhadzhian crossing his line right there, feinting him here. Bodying up. Not sure why Ennis wants to be here. Probably just resting. Probably, the ring's about to get cut off. Chukhadzhian's putting a little bit of pressure on him, trying to time that lead hand again, trying to line the right hand over the top. Now, again, Ennis very athletic, right? But again, he doesn't really have a guard. He's not being very sneaky, right? I don't want to say he's telegraphing everything, but he doesn't have a very sneaky guard. He doesn't have a very, try to parry there, moving to this position, boom. Breaking into that kind of shot. He has thrown the hook a few times, so Ennis should be worried about that as well. Okay, there it is right there. But again, Ennis, doesn't have as tight of a guard, right? And that's one thing that Vergil Ortiz does have is a very, very tight guard, and he's very explosive out of it. Man, if Vergil Ortiz can get his shit together, dude, and challenge himself, parrying the jab, not bad. Again, doesn't have a left guard, just walking right into this shot. Just again, and this is a small thing, just by keeping his arm up, being able to interact with that shot. But more importantly, it's not even about keeping it there, but when we see that he's in this position and jabs are coming, right? The left hand is down, right? Chukhadzhian knows exactly where he is here, right? And we can see that Ennis wraps his own arm around his body, right? And contributes because he doesn't know how to block this shot. He doesn't bring his guard up to being hit with this shot because Chukhadzhian knows that he's going to be doing the Philly shell. He knows what it's going to look like when Ennis catches the jab, that there's not going to be a guard there, But if he just has his arm up, right, just keeps his arm up, he can discourage that shot altogether, right, by not making it easy. Okay, but he's just making it easy, just allowing him to kind of throw that shot. And I want to say for no reason. Okay. Jab, pendulum from Ennis. Again, hands down for some reason. I don't know why. Slipping and throwing a little hook from the front foot. Not bad, not landing. Jab, slip from Chukhadzhian. They both wind up bodying up here. And I know why Chukhadzhian wants to tie up, because he's not as fast and snappy as Ennis. This is where Ennis should be trying to get work, because Chukhadzhian will land that one punch, but we've seen Ennis throw multiple punches multiple times, right? He's definitely the more dangerous guy on the line. He's a more dangerous guy, inside. He's just, at this position here, he's at parity with Chukhadzhian. He's not, one punch at a time. He can't really surprise him. Catching him right here again. Chukhadzhian penduluming in, and again, this is one of those things where you're just like, God, it's actually just so hard to get him, right? Jab, he's penduluming, boom, and he's slipping and throwing the rear hand and crashing it into Chukhadzhian. Where's the follow-up? Where's the combination? Right? I think he recognizes that was a good shot now. No guard, again, very dangerous. No guard from Chukhadzhian, allowing him to get hit. Again, Ryan Garcia don't play. Poop, poop. I don't think that's getting him. Doesn't matter. Very, very dangerous. And again, mostly because he has no guard. What would Canelo do to him here with no guard? Right? Now, I don't know that Canelo would be able to compete with Jaron Ennis. Jaron Ennis is very fast, as we just saw right there. Um, that was really good too. Controlling with the jab here. Boom, pendulum. And then here, getting him to follow him back. Almost getting him with that shot. Very interesting. Boom, boom. Bop. Excellent transition. Boom, boom. Off the kind of dart-like motion that he's kind of failing here into southpaw and then right into a rear hand probe. Decent amount of guard from Ennis right here, but he winds up going into a little bit of too many redundant positions here and getting into a position that he doesn't actually quite make it out of, and doing that thing that he kind of throws that stealing jab, the one that he did in round one, where he's like, oh, he's got to be out of, thing to think about. He's going to be leaving the line, right? And then Chukhadzhian, I don't know, want to say stealing his own shot, not any great shot or anything, but starting to play those games with Ennis, like right here. Again, very, very similar thing here. Feint, and then again, follow him back, boom, boom. And again, knowing that is Ennis going to counter here, right? He was already done with his thing. He hadn't come back to the line. And then kind of following him back, pinning him to the back half of his line and trying to steal a couple of shots. Ooh, really good shot here. I do want to say, not bad defense here, right? Bop, and then he's on the back half, and then he pins him, pendulums off with the second hook coming here, right? And then he expects it's going to be a rear hand, tries to get a guard up, and it winds up being a rear hand uppercut. So pretty good work. And it's just staying on the line too long without throwing any punches, without coming back with anything, without, endangering Chukhadzhian's line here. Now, again, as soon as he gets hit, boop. Oh man, Chukhadzhian has no power. He even's able to see the next shot coming and then start countering. Now Chukhadzhian, no defense here. Boom, boom. Walks right into these shots again. He's not very good at following up all the time himself, because he has to regain his structure. He has to reset. Good shot right there. Slips to the front foot and then throws a left hook to the body. And then, almost a rear hand over the top. Decent guard at the moment from Ennis, putting pressure on him, and then again sacrifices his position with the stepping jab for some reason. Not sure why he goes for that. Boom, boom, and then tries to steal a stepping jab. Chukhadzhian is pivoting on the front foot, makes it to the back foot, gets planted, and as soon as he gets planted, he knows that it's go time. He has to transition his weight again, and he throws the jab, and Ennis is trying to time him over the top of it. Pretty, smart IQ stuff from Ennis, but probably the angle just a little bit difficult because Chukhadzhian a little bit taller than the guys that he's usually doing that from, but decent right there, moving through the line with a little bit of shifting here. Eats a shot because he has bad guard, moves to the other side of the line, controls him. Not the greatest structure. His head's is like right on the line. He's not really moving his head at all. Quick shot though, right? And then pulling, right? And then able to come forward and shift, throwing a punch, right? A little bit of baiting his head around. And then again, very, very difficult to fight if you start slowing down in front of Ennis, right? Because look at how athletic all that was. It did look like, for the most part, he was still able to interact with Chukhadzhian, not really in a structure, not really in his positions or anything. Ooh, just right on the inside. Sometimes the guy's still going to get you when you're doing most of the things correctly. And again, after he lands that shot, sacrificing the position, and it's just allowed to throw punches at him. Again, his structure is so bad that he doesn't get planted and get set back to his boxing very quickly. Boom, boom. Ennis going for a couple of follow-up shots there. Um, maybe looking to score a few harder punches or a few more shots. Get a little bit more value from his work. Very interesting here. Boom, moving to the back foot, slip into the front foot, and he kind of explodes into an uppercut. I want to say like kind of a dangerous move, but if he's anticipating no real punch there. But we have seen Chukhadzhian get to the line and throw a rear hand over the top. So very interesting that he would go for that shot. Very dangerous because we have seen a very good that shot right there. Explode off the guard as well. And if Ennis was timing that with his uppercut thing, it could have been very bad for him. A little bit of a Lomachenko-like move here. Boom, makes it to the front foot. Pendulums across with the leaping cross here. Lands and is allowed to come up with the shot. No reason not to follow up here other than Chukhadzhian has bad structure and on average doesn't know how to get planted and get power into his shots. Both of his feet are coming up off the ground here when he throws that shot. And then getting hit with a follow-up shot almost for no reason. Beautiful, beautiful work here from Chukhadzhian. Not bad. Circling and stepping around Ennis. And when Ennis gets on the line here, the rear hand shot coming, boom. And then almost a follow-up shot here. Great timing. But again, the striking stuff from Chukhadzhian is on average very, very bad. Interesting. So he tries that Lomachenko move again, making it to the front foot, getting controlled, trying to, do this thing that Usyk does, right? And again, just getting smacked to the body like you should, right? Or if you're Teofimo Lopez, getting smacked into the head, right? Ennis coming forward, doesn't have a guard. He's doing that thing where he's pendulum walking backwards. His feet are together right now, and he's going to take a step on the line, and now he's going to bring his back foot. It looks like he's penduluming right now, and Ennis gets interacted with by Chukhadzhian, boom, with a 1-2 into another follow-up one. Again, just because he doesn't bring his rear hand with him. Makes him very, very susceptible to combination punches, which again, if you're a smaller guy, are very, very difficult to throw against a taller guy. Okay. Not bad. Kind of cool little fake move. Jab. Pendulum's under the counter-ish thing. Doesn't get a punch off here, so he wastes it, which is silly. Makes the pendulum here, pulls, and then Ennis just doesn't move, so he gets hit. It's not a real move, though. Takes a lot of energy, all that. Sure, all that for one drop of blood, right? But, like, it's important to be able to do stuff like that and land a shot. But, like, once people started figuring out that they could just interact with Lomachenko as he gets lead foot dominance, this strategy from Lomachenko completely went up in smoke. I don't want to say just like his career, right? But, like, people have been able to interact with him. People have been able to figure that out. People have been able to stop him from getting to that position and then just beating on him, right? And then having him just beat on you. And then, I don't want to say Lomachenko kind of looks normal, but like that position has been figured out, like it's an easy one to defend because it's so far away from actual offense. Okay. Anyway. Ooh. So Ennis making it to this position, bop, stepping jab, and then again, because he's stepping with everything, he's getting interacted with a stepping move from Chukhadzhian, but Chukhadzhian is only using it to set up a rear hand to the body, interacting with him, timing him here, timing him on the front foot. Rear hand probe, any follow-up from Ennis? No, it looked like his structure was good enough that he could, though. Now, very interesting that he's kind of timing this shot here and trying to counter. Is he expecting a body shot again? Boom. I think maybe he is, like the same one last time, and I think he winds up getting cracked. Boom. And I think he's throwing his to the head. It looks is Karen throwing his to the head? It looks like he's throwing his to the body still. But again, Chukhadzhian got one little interaction here, misses it. And then his structure is just so bad. His athleticism, his striking. A little bit of falling behind now. Ooh, and then Ennis winding up on his line, doing a decent job here too. Pushing him off the line. And then when he controls him here, smashing him with a left hand. Pushing him off the line when he gets to the line, controlling him, pushing him to the front foot. Not allowing him to leave the line, keeping the pressure on him. Kind of landing a shot once he's in position one. Follow-up shot uppercut as he tries to get out of the position. Very, very good. And then notice how he keeps his hand on him and controls him just a little bit to find space for his right hook. And then again, controls with the right hand right before into the left hand and into a combination. So some decent stuff in there from Ennis for sure. Getting timed, again, you can't have the way you get on the line be the same way every time, front foot. And as he starts moving into the back foot, stepping jab, and getting timed by a counter from Karen. Karen catching him with a little leaping cross or leaping hook there as he gets on the line again to the front foot. Breaking rhythm right there. Karen getting very, very comfortable being on the front foot here, right? Waiting for Ennis in this position here. And Karen probably thought he was going to be real sneaky here and be able to land a hook as Ennis gets to the front foot, but Ennis breaking rhythm and racing him with the jab here, pushing him off the line. More importantly than landing a good shot, alienating Chukhadzhian from that front foot position because, again, he can do stepping jab from any position. Good guard there. Good guard there. Good little movement from Ennis as well, anticipating that little move from Karen. And not bad there either, right? Feinting him here, pushing him to the back foot as he tries to pendulum up off the line and is breaking into this shot here, landing a really, really, really good shot as Chukhadzhian was trying to cross his line and get his head to the other side. Not bad. Penduluming here, getting to the front foot, feint, back foot, and then Chukhadzhian moves to the front foot and tries to time him with a rear hand. It looks like he barely misses because Ennis tries to slip to the inside a little bit too, so that he can throw this left hook this right hook to the body. But very cool that he follows up with with a headshot too, so doing a 3-2 there. Again, very acceptable to the left hook there on the inside, and very interesting that this is the second time in this, he's fought Karen and not been able to knock him out. Right? Again, a guy who's about his size. He did stop Roman Villa, right? Which I did think was a big deal until he kind of crumbled against that other guy. But Roman Villa is like that guy's a seriously tough fight. All right, we're going to kind of watch it through and kind of keep going. Man, an hour in, what am I doing? I'm like, only 3 rounds too? Jesus, what have I been doing? All right. 1-2-1, leaping onto his line. Again, Karen does not have great defense either. Boom, boom. Lead hand is so far away. Feinting the 1-1-2. Let's see if he goes for it again and gets countered on his way in by a left hook from... Oh, so that was pretty clever, right? Timing him, getting to the front foot, pop, and trying to counter him just in case there's a follow-up of the uppercut. Because last time he went with the uppercut, right? And this time he goes with the rear hand around the guard. Leaping shot from him as he gets to the front foot. Circling. Boom. Boom. Again, making it to the front foot, but boom, boom, without a punch or something on this beat here with that pendulum, he just exposes himself. Ennis, for some reason, not following up with multiple shots, just throwing one punch there. Could have had a couple of successful punches if he had committed, but missing an opportunity to follow up. And again, especially because Chukhadzhian is going to be out of position after throwing, on average, his first punch. Now, I do want to say, okay, maybe he's worried about the cross, but if he was worried about the cross, he would have been worried about it when he came up with the uppercut anyway. So all that kind of doesn't really make any sense. Timing and penduluming onto his line over and over and over again like a silly goose. Not a bad move right there. Chukhadzhian, very unusually, leaping shot, boom, gets planted, throws a rear hand to the body, a follow-up off of his pendulum. Where's your control, Ennis? Where's your leashing, right? Is Ennis so busy trying to score on every beat that he's not trying to control his opponent? Boom, front foot, back foot, tries to break into this shot, and now look at the counter coming from Chukhadzhian. Obviously, I think it misses here, but look at Ennis making it to the back foot, making it to the front foot, and look at him have to kind of jump and throw this shot here. Again, you can kind of see this little break in his footwork where it just looks like he's not flowing into it, right? And kind of tells on himself. Chukhadzhian looking like he's got a little bit of good movement here. Starting to warm up himself, but I think most of the fight winds up being like mostly Ennis, right? Again, no guard here. Chukhadzhian doing a good job circling. Jumping on the line here, again, you can't just jump on your opponent with a stepping jab. Look at Ennis, got his guard up with the rear hand, boom, right? And then just going to break into another shot of his own and timing Chukhadzhian. Same thing with the lead hand into the rear hand there. Now also, Karen might be getting tired. Oh my God, just as he starts punching Ennis in the face a bunch of times, right? Boom, boom. Again, Ennis doesn't really have a guard. Philly shelling in this position here, and then Ennis, Chukhadzhian jumping on his line with a 2-3-ish, right? 2. And then again, is he open for a 1-2 again, right? Chukhadzhian feinting, trying to see. He's like, okay, he's got to know I'm going to try to hit him, right? Did he land a body shot there? Front foot, boom, boom. He throws it. Yeah, he's landing it. Good shot. Good follow-up. Ooh, and lands another shot on the inside. Boom, 3. Looks like Ennis is throwing a 2 of his own, but another cross here from, no, that one. There you go, into a 1-2. Now again, don't grab him by the body, bro. It's illegal. But it was actually a pretty good fight, very high contact. Which made it fun. Chukhadzhian did a good job of, I don't want to say not running because he kind of ran last time, but competing, landing some good shots early. But so much energy here. Boom, 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 boom. And then trying to tie up because he's tired, because he needs a break. Only 40 seconds left, so. Now again, if he throws this shot, boom, boom, and he comes up, it's very dangerous if he comes up with a pull counter because he doesn't have a guard. So if he was throwing a 1-2 and he tries to counter this move here, right, he could be just setting himself up because he's already open for all these moves. So it's got to make you wonder, like, did he just not train hard, or is it just like, oh, well, the guy doesn't hit very hard. There's no way I'm going to lose a fight in my hometown, because I believe that Chukhadzhian doesn't hit hard. I believe it. I also believe that he did hurt Ennis at least, once, right? But I think a few times. Oof. And again, with no guard, boom, eats without a body shot, tries to. You're just not going to be faster than everybody. Moves his head across the line, and then again just gets smacked here for no reason. And boom, boom, boom. He is moving his head just a little bit slow here. Boom. And again, ready for the next follow-up shot, but very poor post-punch defense here. Right? All right, starting with the jabs. Ennis coming out orthodox, shifting southpaw, back to orthodox. Little one leaping thing too. Getting pushed off his line. Boom, 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 boom. So after he gets feinted here, pow, pow, and now he keeps his guard up, right? Karen re-controls him, boom, boom, pushes him to the front foot, and then looks to attack him 1-1-2. And then I think he misses the 3, but pretty good attempt here from Chukhadzhian. Now again, pretty good here, pull countering that shot. Being forced to shift again, body up, and then eating a shot on the inside. And again, he has to eat that uppercut there from Ennis because his structure sucks, right? He has to be penduluming forward. He has to be coming, shifting forward on his rear hand. Now again, the one coming here, boom, pinning him to the back foot here. And again, he doesn't have a very good guard. We can see his left hand very low. And Ennis able to follow up on that shot very, very quickly and landing a rear hand. And again, like, how do you continue to get away from one of the most common moves in boxing, right? How do you just keep letting a guy throw a 1-2 at you? How do you just justify this hole being here, right? It's like the most common in boxing. How do you just justify that as good boxing, as good this, you know? Now, Ennis, this is like, man, if this happens to you, this is like Ryan Garcia Central, right? He's literally just taking a big step onto the line, penduluming in here, down, leaping shot here, right? Ryan Garcia catches you with that shot, the fight's over, right? And again, this is because he doesn't really have a guard. He's trying to Philly shell. He is trying to, I do believe, trying to parry a jab-like thing here, right? But if it was a jab, he's pulling straight back. But we see his rear hand, right? It's open. He was about to catch a shot, and then he, just kind of gets smacked here. Very poor post-punch defense, and I don't know if he's expecting him to move into that punch or what. A little bit of the problem with always doing a stepping jab. He makes it to the end of his line here. Boom, gets cracked again. Lucky for him, front foot, pivot, makes it to the back foot. As we see him get to the back foot, he launches himself into that shot while Karen's already planted, and he smashes him with that right hand. Gets planted and counters him again. Karen, so many problems in his structure, throws that rear hand, and he has to move his feet, right? Shifting forward, boom, eating a body shot because of it. Again, I don't know why Ennis is not throwing the hook right here. He knows the guy's going to be off balance from shifting. Doesn't he? Not bad right there. A little bit of decent defense, right? Ish parrying here. Dangerous if it winds up being a hook. And then shoulder rolling ish. And then having a good counter here. Boom. Penduluming, almost getting him with the hook. Now again, he still makes it to that position. Pull, hook, pendulums, body up, boom, lands a body shot. It does look like he's getting hit with a shot there. But yeah, Ennis with a very high contact style today, and boom, boom. It's interesting because maybe this is just him. I don't want to say going for the knockout or just fighting a guy he doesn't respect, or I don't want to give him any excuses because beautiful shot. Again, look at him coming forward. It looks like he's got a guard right now, right? Looks like he's got a guard. He's discouraging the easy stuff. He gets him to throw the rear hand probe. He pulls it. Again, Chukhadzhian always shifting forward, right? So when this shot comes, boom, his back foot's coming up off the air. He's not really in a structure to counter. And his post-punch defense is sucky. Excellent shot, right? Beautiful, beautiful follow-ups. While his arm is getting held. I still don't like that he makes it to this position and he still has a stepping jab, pendulums, right? He does wind up moving into an overhand right here that's kind of decent. Beautiful work there. Even got the control. Boom. Created the space with the right arm into the uppercut, into the 1-1-2 here, into the uppercut. Excellent uppercut into the hook. Unfortunate for him that he didn't actually get the shot off. Super smart and heads up shot. Taking a knee from Chukhadzhian. Because, yeah, a couple more of those shots and he probably goes down. But it looks like there are spaces where Ennis can tighten his defense up, but it also still looks like he's going to be stuck having the stepping jab with things. This, very, very interesting, right? Shifting forward. He's kind of reaching here. Doesn't actually get the block super well. Bad guard right now. Ugh. Coming forward, he's super far ahead. Bad guard. Boom, just gets, smacked in. Walking in the front door. Pretty good round for Ennis. Again, very, very difficult to parry the rear hand. If it winds up being a rounded punch, you just walk into a big shot. Very, very dangerous to parry in the open stance. But it is very interesting that Ennis is having such a hard time landing hard, clean shots. Like, some of these things are pretty clean. But, like, why aren't they hard? Why is this shot so easy for him to get, right? Very, very clean probe from Chukhadzhian. There it is again. Now, again, making it to this position quite often, but again, he has to shift forward off of it, and this could be making him pay for that much, much more often. That's like the biggest worry is this shot here, but like maybe Jaron is too tired to be going 2-3s now, so it's always going to have a beat there because it does look slow, right? Oh, man, just over and over and over again. It doesn't look like any of them are like good shots or anything, so it's not that big of a deal. But he's not going to be fighting Jaron Chukhadzhian hopefully ever again, right? No offense, Jaron, but you had your shot. Stop tying up our man, okay? We want to see him in the big fights. Ennis, don't fight Crawford. Don't fight Virgil Ortiz. Don't do it, okay? Those guys have legitimate reasons. They're scared to fight you, right? Maybe, kind of. Virgil Ortiz, probably not, honestly. Crawford, maybe not anymore. But they're already on their own paths, their own this, they're on their way out. Let them go. Unify 147, destroy all those bums, be a legend. You don't have to fight Crawford. You don't have to fight Virgil Ortiz yet. And again, this right here, by the way, that's Virgil Ortiz's best move. If this guy can't block a 1-2, this is Virgil Ortiz's best move. And I don't know anyone that has a better one than Virgil Ortiz. Fucking shit. It's fast. It's so fast. Okay? And this guy just does not have a guard. Anyway, we're going to finish this up in about, 2 minutes. We're only going to do rounds 1 through 6. Yeah, but Ennis, very athletic, very fast, very, very difficult to fight. Chukhadzhian, big-ish guy, right? Not a slouch. I think he's getting better. I think his power, it was better in this fight. Maybe he'll be doing better in subsequent fights and knocking guys out. Who knows? But he caught Boots with some really good shots. He caught him with some really good shots. He was able to box with him and move around with him, and a guy who also has as good of a chin as Karen but also has more punching power, is going to make Ennis have to box more. It's going to make him have to do all these things more. But if we take a look at this right here, step, right? These feints, right? It just makes it look like he can't do very many, many more things except for stepping moves, right? Which, this was pretty good here. But that also means that he's going to be vulnerable against other guys who are good, who are fast. Because he sacrifices, again, so much of his guard, so much of his everything on first contact to do the stepping move, so much of the sneakiness, right? And again, stuff like that, very, very, very dangerous. What was that? Did he hurt his hand or something? Did he hit right in the eye a second ago? Is that what it was? I'm not going to go back again. Something weird there. Oof, good shot right there. But also another thing is if he's not knocking these guys out, right? Because I think Roman Villa was like end of the round or some shit. And not a knockout. I'm not sure, but if he's not knocking these guys out, is his power that good? Is it, as he fights guys who are as big as he is? Crawford's not as big as he is, but he's very strong. Spence caught Crawford with some clean shots, very clean, But Spence, like I told you guys, he's not a puncher. He does not punch hard. Um, um, but yeah. Anyway, what the hell was I saying? I don't know. Fouts Boxing Academy. Check it out. Learn how to punch hard. Learn all the stuff that I'm telling you guys that these guys suck at. Okay, come check it out.